When we think of Homer's Iliad, we usually think of gods and heroes, the Trojan War, Achilles' heel, all that epic stuff. But what if I told you it's actually one of the oldest and, frankly, one of the most brilliant books on strategy ever written? We're talking about leadership, psychology, and the absolute chaos of conflict. So today, let's crack open the Iliad, not just as a poem, but as a field manual for war and for life.
Right from the very first line, Homer tells you exactly what this is all about. It's not the war itself. It's the rage of one man, Achilles. And that one man's anger is about to bring a whole world of pain down on his own side. And that's the key, isn't it? That single emotion, that rage. It's the tiny spark that's going to set the whole world on fire. It's the pivot point for every single strategic decision and, yeah, every catastrophic failure in the entire story. So let's reframe this. What if the Iliad isn't just a myth? What if we look at it as a detailed blow-by-blow case study of a massive coalition being pushed right to its breaking point? You've got catastrophic leadership, you've got battlefield psychology, you've got all the timeless headaches of being in command. Okay, so to really get this, we have to understand the world they were living in. This is the Bronze Age, and let me tell you, their idea of warfare was a whole different ballgame from what we think of today. So, forget everything you've seen in movies about organized legions and clear battle plans. The battlefield of the Iliad is, well, it's a mess. It's basically a bunch of individual heroes looking for a glorious one-on-one duel. The goal here isn't capturing territory for the state. It's about winning personal glory. This isn't really a national army. It's more like a fragile alliance of rock stars with giant egos. And as you can imagine, trying to manage that is a strategic nightmare. And this gets us right to the core of it, leadership. The Iliad is just an incredible study in command, showing us both how to do it right and how to get it catastrophically wrong, all through its characters. And right at the center of this hurricane is Agamemnon, the big boss. And honestly, he's a textbook example of what not to do. His pride is so out of control that he picks a fight with Achilles, his best warrior, his nuclear option, and creates a crisis that almost destroys the whole army. And then, get this, he decides to test his troops' morale by suggesting they all just pack up and go home. Of course, they nearly trample him in a stampede for the ships. It's just a stunning example of a leader who has no idea what his people are thinking. And here's where it gets really fascinating. Look at the contrast between the two main fighters. On one side, you have Achilles. He's the star performer, the genius, the one-man army. He's motivated purely by his own glory and his own rage. Then you've got Hector. He's the burdened commander. He's not fighting for fame. He's fighting because it's his duty to protect his home, his family. He's playing defense, trying to hold his people together. I mean, these are two leadership models that we see play out every single day, right? But it's not all just bad leadership. You get these flashes of real strategic brilliance, usually from the old, wise counselor, Nestor. Listen to this advice he gives Agamemnon. He's basically saying, stop treating them like a mob. Organize them into units with their own leaders. Give them structure. We're talking thousands of years ago, and Nestor is laying out the foundational principles of unit cohesion. He sees chaos and gives the blueprint for an army. And Nestor's advice really highlights something critical. The Iliad is just as much about the battle inside a soldier's head as it is about the one on the field. It's a deep, deep dive into the psychology of a warrior. To really get inside their heads, you have to understand this one Greek word, Timae. It's not just honor, it's everything. It's your public reputation, your glory, the respect you command. It's the currency of this entire society. So when Agamemnon takes Achilles' war prize, the woman Brises, he's not just stealing from him. He is publicly humiliating him. He is stripping him of his Timae. And in their world, that's an insult you simply cannot let stand. That is the spark. So you see, Achilles' rage isn't just a temper tantrum. It's a strategic move. By refusing to fight, he directly attacks the Greek army's will to continue. He understands, maybe better than anyone, that in this kind of warfare, morale isn't just some nice to have. No, it's the absolute center of gravity. It is everything. Which brings us to the big question. Why are we still talking about this ancient poem? Well, because its lessons on strategy and leadership, they have never, ever gone out of style. I mean, the influence is just staggering. Alexander the Great, one of the greatest military minds in history, supposedly slept with a copy of it under his pillow. Fast forward a couple thousand years, and it was being studied by the European military thinkers who were shaping modern warfare. And today, it's still required reading at places like West Point and even in business schools trying to teach leadership. And the parallels today are just everywhere. A diplomat trying to hold a shaky international alliance together? Well, that's Agamemnon's problem right there. A manager trying to handle that brilliant, high-performing employee who's also incredibly difficult and feels disrespected? That's the Achilles problem. The Iliad gives us this timeless language for understanding these deeply human, strategic challenges that we still face every single day. So it really leaves you with the final question, doesn't it? Our technology changes, our weapons get more advanced, but Homer's incredible epic seems to suggest that the fundamentals of human conflict, the clash of egos, the pull of duty, the weight of leadership, those things haven't changed one bit. They are absolutely timeless.
This is for entertainment and educational purposes only.